5 o'clock in the morning. Just about to pack the gear into the car and make a visit to Hadleigh Castle. It's a ruin that overlooks the estuary of the Thames. It's only about 25 minutes away. It was built, I think, about 1213, something like that, Henry III anyway. It's all collapsed now. It was built on clay, so it subsided over the years, many years. It's just collapsed away, so should be okay. Looked at the sky, it's not too good. There's going to be no red glow or red glow in the clouds, not what it looks at the moment, but we'll see what happens when we get there. Just on the way to the castle now, about 5:05, a bit late as usual. There's no clouds in the sky, so although there'll be a sort of red hue, and you'll see that the Earth's shadow, the darker blue line, that's about it. There's going to be no red, candy, floss clouds, so we're probably okay. We'll be there for sunrise. As the sun rises and hits the castle, we'll see how it goes from there. I've exposed one plate already, just now. That was, I'm using Ektar 100 because this particular scene, the dynamic range is too much for Velvia, which is only about 4 stops, but Ektar, as long as you expose to the highlights, should be okay for this. I exposed at 1 second, the meter reading was 0.5 seconds, but I'm using a polarizer, which I know is a 1 stop, adds 1 stop to the exposure, so I exposed it at 1 second to take into account the polarizer. I'm just waiting now to see if I can get some more light on the rocks which are in the foreground here, but looking at it, the sun may rise too high, that the dynamic range even for Ektar 100 would be too much by the time I get any light on those rocks. I exposed one more sheet, so there's 2 sheets I've exposed this morning of Ektar 100. I took a slightly different position this time, set the camera up over there so I was looking at the tower and across the Thames estuary. Same sort of speed, I think around about 1 second again. It hasn't changed much once the sun's up because it hasn't moved across the sky to get directly in front of the camera. So we'll see once it's developed. Okay, just closing up now, just putting the stuff away. Took 4 images this morning, 4 exposures, 2 on Ektar 100 and 2 on Ilford FP4. Just to give a quick idea of the films that I do use in large format. You've got Velvia 50, which is a colour slide film, 50 ISO. It's got a very small dynamic range, 4 stops, so it can only really be used on low contrast images. Then you go up to Ektar 100, which has got a bigger dynamic range, and with Ektar 100 you tend to expose to the highlights. If you're going to expose it, overexpose it rather than underexpose it. And then you've got Ilford FP4, which is very forgiving. Black and white films give you a big leeway in terms of dynamic range. So you've got quite it's hard, it's difficult to make a mistake unless you make an absolute mistake with your exposure. So with them, you expose to your darker, you expose to your shadows to get your shadows, the detail in your shadows, because the highlights tend to look after themselves. So they're the films that I use. I will do a video later on just showing how I prepare the films in the film holders and why they're in plastic bags, etc.